Friends, today we are doing a very wicked watercolor paint along. All right, all right, all right. At the time, this was live, and the download link for the artwork was available to all. Now, if you want to get this and paint along with me on replay, you need to become a member of my Patreon. Information about that is in the description below. But even if you don't, it's going to be a good time. Let's do it. So what I wanted to do with this is just be very watercolory, very color in type of watercolory. That's what I'm feeling the desire for right now. So if you're following along, that's kind of where my head's at. Like, not a lot of like visible brush strokes. Does that make sense? Oh, I was going to use the 24 palette. Yes, to the best of my ability. That's right. You all, we had decided to use the 24 color palette. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. So if you're wondering what in the heck we're talking about, we just spent 3 weeks live building the ideal, awesome 24 color convenience palette. And that, my friends, 'tis what we're going to use today as promised. So I'm just going to put her in here. All right. Now it's just one of these, but I remember which one. I didn't want to take her out. We'll get this all sprayed down. Don't have much left of that one. Get this assembled. Here's one. Oh, this is fun. Oh my. Oh my. I still didn't figure out what. Oh my word, Stacy. Thank you. Oh, I think that sounds like a blast. Stacy, will you email me and let's chat about a collaboration? Let's do that. Will you email me? hello@kristyrice.com. I think that's what we need to do. All right. All right, and then one of these on here. Look at, isn't this beautiful and gorgeous and fun? Look at this. Look at this. Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate that. Super chat. Love that. Oh, yay. Awesome, Stacy. Sounds good. All right. I think I've got them all. Wait, there's the Prussian. There's the turquoise, and then the rest of these are all inners. Well, okay. Close enough. I mean, close enough, right? Right. Okay. So this is the lovely 24 color convenience palette that we kind of navigated through the selection of over the last 3 weeks in lives. And it was super fun. And I'm going to use it today to paint the wicked. No one wants the wicked. Gonna use the travel brushes and who knows what else. Yeah, these are launching at the end of the month officially on Amazon. So if you've been waiting, if you want to be part of our launch team, go ahead and email Kristen, hello@kristyrice.com. She'll get you all the info. I'm not going to share the info during the live here. You'll have to email Kristen. And no worries if after hearing the info you're not down with it, that's fine. But that's how you can get that combo started. So I'm going to start with a poppy, and I'm just going to wet the paper. That feels like fun to me right now. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to kind of do a flowy situation. I need room for my arm, y'all. I need room for my arm. And I am just filling the whole poppy a little bit into the center, but I'm mostly just concentrating on a good fill of water on the petals. But you'll see I am bumping into the center. And I'm going to grab the fluorescent my fluorescent first and just dab, dab, dab into the wet areas. Let the color run out. And then I'm going to take some of this. What did we agree this one was? I don't think we ever agreed of which core color this was, but maybe a little bit of that in the center. Lovely. And then I'm going to use this awesome color from, oh, let me get the whole palette out. Was it Designs by Rachel Beth? Anyway, I think this was that Designs by Rachel Beth. And I'm just tapping on, and you might be wondering, oh gosh, Christy, that looks very brush strokey, and I thought you were going to do more blendy. So I'm going to rinse my brush, get it back to just water, and go out on the edge of that color. Anybody remember the name of this one? It's the one that nobody can seem to get their hands on. Rinsing my brush again. When you see me go off screen, y'all, that means I'm rinsing that brush and I'm blending this out. And then right around now, I just kind of want to see what the dampness does. And then I might go on the outer edge with maybe this red a little bit, just a little bit of this Kramer pigment red, and dab it in. This is very pigmented, so I'm going to be careful. Oh, gosh, it's not wet enough over there. I've got to get it into the wet areas. It is super pigmented, so I'm going to just only do a little. I want you to see when I'm blotting on a paper towel. So I'm going to move my paper towel here. But again, you're going to see me blot here. And then you're going to see me go off camera. And that is me getting water, either rinsing or grabbing water. And I will try to remember to tell you. This is a clean, damp brush that I am just ever so lightly pressure, with ever so light of a pressure, blending. But I honestly don't want to blend too much. I don't, because I'm loving the look of that. I did the artwork on my iPad with Procreate. Yes. I love this kind of approach to watercoloring pages. One of the tiers in my Patreon membership is does include printable watercoloring pages. And I love this approach because, to be honest, these pages can be overwhelming to finish, huh? Right? Right? Yeah, Stacy, that scene was so cool. And so I like to adjust my technique a bit. I'm going into my kind of shell blushy pink here from the Art for Joy's Sake palette. And I'm just going to push it up from the base, not getting into where I'm going to add green down in here. All right, I'm just going to push it up. This is a very opaque color. All right. And then I think it might be fun, since this is all wet too, I'm going to go back to this one. Oh my gosh, I really want to find that swatch set thing. And I'm pushing it up over top of what I just did. I'm going to let that go for a second because two reasons. I really want to find my swatches. There they are. I found them. And second reason, I want to see what happens when I leave this alone, being that this is still damp. This is quite wet with 2 layers of color. It's so important, y'all, to, all right, here we go. This one was Designs by Rachel Beth, Summer Glow. So Summer Glow, Summer Glow. Okay, let's get this in the shot somehow. All right. And then it is so important to let your watercolor be, for goodness sake. Let it have a moment. I feel like I'm yelling at you. I don't mean to be yelling, but for goodness sake, let it have a moment to like decide what it wants to do. You don't need to be in control of watercolor all the time. In fact, if you try to be, watercolor will push back on you. Watercolor be like, girl, or dude, whatever, and it will smack you back. And yeah, it will show you things like your paper will start to look beat up if you try to control things too much. Your colors won't have that like exciting watercolor spirit about them. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? So we want that exciting watercolor spirit, do we not? Yes, we do. So you've got to know that there are absolutely times when you just need to let well enough alone and see what well enough wants to do. Huh? Yeah. Stacy says watercolor is a lot like hot glass. You have to dance with it, not tell it what to do. I love that. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Part of me wants to, I'm just going to let that go for now. I don't know what I want to do with it. But part of me wants to go up here. I want a bigger brush. So I'm going with my 3/4 inch dagger, getting it all cleaned off in case there's some weird residue on it from who knows what. This is from my Free from Fear brush set. Friends, all the links to everything that I've ever designed or offered is below in the description section. So go get it if you're interested. So I may be touching a little bit of this flower, but I'm also not worrying too much about it. I'm going to go in kind of double dipping these yellows, and I'm just going to get some of that in there, just some touches of yellow. I'm not going to do green yet because I know if I do that green in the Emerald City little scape here will 100% just infiltrate all my beautiful clean yellows. So I'm going to go with what's left on my brush and just rough in some yellow brick road. I'm not really worrying about like watercoloriness right now. What I am doing is just trying to get a sense of the separation of the scene and where what is where, and just get a sense of, do I like it being a yellow brick road? Because let's be honest, I could change it. And I did also have an idea to make part of it a pink road, just as a little nod to Glinda. So kind of like having it go yellow into a soft, like sunsetty pink. So I'm going to dabble with that very lightly. Oh, that's yellow. Hey. I want like little nods to Glinda. And I feel like the poppies are a little bit of a nod to Glinda because in the movie, like the only two people that were unaffected by Elphaba's spell were Fiero and Elphaba herself. And you could tell like Glinda felt very left out, that she was not, you know, awake, that she was somehow an outsider. But let's face it. I'm sorry, Glinda. You had some good moments, but you essentially annoy me. So a little bit of pink at the end of our yellow brick road as a nod. Now this turned more peach. So let's hit that. It's very wet there, but I'm gonna not remove any of the wetness because I want a good blend here, and I'm getting it. You can see how effortlessly I'm getting that blend. So we're gonna blend that back with a few dabs, not too many. And then we're gonna bring whatever's left on the brush over to here to the just damp, almost wet category area over here. And then backfill with some of the yellow because it's looking like a little disconnect from over here. Now that looks more peach because I didn't rinse my brush. So we're going to rinse the brush, blot, and I might just do a little strategical lift there. And I'm going to do a little lifting here because I actually don't like that texture. And now up here, it's almost dry. All right. Don't worry about the background. I'm thinking of doing something pretty wild with like the Prussian from Artistic Isle and a touch of purple. I got some things in mind. So going back in, because I really like this color here. And I think it just is a little bit more yellow in the mix. I'm not rinsing, but I'm drying my brush completely to try to, yeah, it's not really happening. Who knows what I did there? And this is a good point to make when you're trying to replicate one area in your painting that you really love and it's just not happening. Your best bet is to get out. Like Literally. Get out. Because eventually, and probably more quickly than you think, you're going to make a mess of things. Like, I am definitely at that get out phase here. All right. Get out. I'm out. Peace out. All right. I mean, it's not, certainly not ruined. And look, in all of my attention paying to that left side of the yellow brick road running into pink, I forgot to do any level. Now I'm going to go right over the stem here because it won't matter when I go over it with green. But I got so sidetracked that I never did the blendy blend. You see what I'm talking about? The yellow to pink. I never paid any attention to it over here. Now, luckily, my kind of shell pink, soft pink, whatever you want to call it, is very liftable. Very velvety and liftable. I like to kind of add stories to my illustrations. When I do illustrations like these, the colors I choose, the way I juxtapose imagery is really just like my reaction to something I'm pretty excited about. And I love this movie. I thought I was going to hate it. It's a whole thing. I've talked about it here live. I've talked about it live on Palmstreet. And so this whole like making part of the yellow brick road pink to me is like kind of a way to speak to the fact that Glinda in this movie, she just thought she was so important, you know? She just thought that everyone should love her and like be like, oh my gosh, you're so cool. We love you. We want to be a BFF, you know? Yes, I did see the stage production like 5 times. And that was the primary reason why I thought I might really not like the movie. All right. So who's painting along with me? Somebody, if you're painting along with me, just say paint. Just say paint. And that goes for you, my replay lovies. If you are painting along with me, say paint. And then how are we feeling about it? How are we feeling about it? And yes, that is me back down here, judging where I shouldn't be judging. All right, we're going to go up here. I think I want to go orangey on this one, and then I'm going to go really bold red on this one, I think. Now I got this orange. I forget what this one was, but we're going to use it. Oh, that's pretty. This orange, I think, was, yeah, this one was from Alchemy Soul Arts called Buttercup. Ooh, it spreads nicely too. Okay, and then I want to go into Soul from Julia K Art Studio, which I'm pretty sure is this one. And I'm just dabbing because this is really wet here, y'all. And don't feel like you have to dab whatever color you're working with at the current moment. Don't feel like you have to dab it everywhere. Remember, if you're under your paper underneath is wet enough, it's going to travel. All right, it's going to travel. Let's do a little bit of the core yellow over here. I'm going to do a very careful spritz. Yeah. And back to just another point, and see how I'm letting, I don't know if you can see that. I just took the puddle and forced it to blend. I'm rolling it around, forcing it to blend. Oh, that's pretty. Another reason or proponent or whatever to painting this type, this style, where it's very fill in the areas, very much like coloring, traditional adult coloring with colored pencils or markers, but using watercolor, where you're just literally, it's like one layer of fun floating in color, is that it minimizes the amount of decisions you have to make, you know, because no longer is your first layer it no longer has you thinking ahead to a second layer or a third layer or so on, if that makes sense. And I think that keeps, again, the piece really much more able to be accomplished in one setting. All right, so just another little note about this style. No, I'm not going to go into there yet. I'm going to go here. Because this is my focal point. This is my focal point. So I'm going to start thinking about this area with the focal point brain. Okay. All right. I am taking this. I think we decided this was the Federal Tonic quinacridone magenta. And I just can't get over the size of these. And this one acts more like ink. So I'm going to dot this in and then watch it bloom. Y'all, let's watch it bloom. So I am then going to dab in some of my Fearless and see what the hey now happens. Looks weird. Clean the brush because it's got too much of that magenta on it. Okay, this almost looks like it has a fungal infection. Thank you, Jessica, for the boop. Great reminder, y'all, is to give this video a boop. Awesome, awesome sauce reminder. It really helps out my channel. I have to say thank you to everyone, because 2025, honestly, since my upload on December 26, 2024 and on, my uploads have been performing amazing. And I'm so grateful for it. It was a very weird, rough, whatever year on YouTube for me. And I never was like, I'm throwing in the towel. Never. But it was definitely very demoralizing. So I think I'm figuring some things out and I'm excited about it. But all that said, the boops really help signal to YouTube, aka the algorithm, like, hey, we are engaging here. This is content that is resonating. We are getting value. So I know you might think it's just like an innocent boop, but it's not. All right, so this is kind of like, you know, when in the movie, like in the original Wizard of Oz, when the Wicked Witch is over her ball, puppies, and the swirling like oil slick that happens in, like, you know, one of the what is the mystery? What the heck are they called? Anyway, it's like that kind of like oil slick I'm trying to get to happen. Let me see if I can do something else. It's similar to like Northern Lights types of techniques. So let me see if I can. Puppies. Now, technically, this is not a second layer, y'all. Let me show you on a little separate piece what I did there, because that went fast. So I took my liner brush. Now wait a cotton picking minute. Got to use the travel liner. Oh yeah, another travel brush. Okay, first let me show you the technique that I just used to kind of create these like magic ball swirlies. Okay, as I just kind of went perpendicular, loaded up the brush. Now it was on a damp page that I did these, but I want to do it on a dry page so you can see the actual shapes, right? And I just kind of swirled. Let me show you again. I'm going to load up. This is with Opera Rose. Perpendicular, nice juicy load up of that color, and then swirl and just keep that arm loose. and you'd be doing this through a damp surface that already has color on it. And I really, oh yeah, that is sopping wet. I actually need to put this in front of my heater. Also, while we're here, I got some new stuff that we've been designing. And friends, none of this is ever planned. If you ever think that I'm just always selling something, I mean, I am. But showing you new stuff that I have in development is never planned. I just like rolled across the floor and I was like, oh, there's those new mugs that I've been working on. So my best friend gave me a mug, like a Stanley dupe that said, yes, yes, I do need all those plants. And so I loved it and I wanted to make my own version. So here we have the kristyrice version of, yes, yes, I do need all these plants. Now this artwork is kind of like my juicy, yeah. And look how big. Yeah, she's big. So then it was, yes, yes, I do need all these art supplies. And it's got some imagery from my product packaging. It's got some of the stamp imagery from the stamp set, which I think is cool. Like, I'm super stoked about it. So these are going to be available like really soon. Do we love them? And they are going to have my little Paint Crush logo on the back eventually. Yeah. And then, so this one's going to have two options. This one, I'm going to take more of the outline style artwork, similar to this look of the alocasia and the different house plants. Yeah. So we're going to have two options. And who knows, we might just do like a different colorway option on this one. I'm thinking more of like a peachy gold opera rose option. Yeah. So these are going to be fun. They're also going to be available as stickers, t-shirts, and all the fun stuff. I don't do enough with like the classic like YouTuber merch, which is mugs, thermoses, t-shirts, that kind of thing. So yeah. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the travel brush set that I've been using. So you have a better context. All right, y'all. If you're new here, I'm an art supply designer, and we need about 5 minutes for this painting to dry before we can continue. So we got some time. Okay, so the Joy Traveler brush set comes in this cute little, can you see it's like felt? Very similar in structure and manufacturing, like sewing. These are hand sewn, y'all. They don't play. They don't play, okay? And as Nicole has pointed out, it is the right height compared to the Joy Chaser brush. Yeah, so weird. I don't know why I did that. And in it comes 3 brushes. Now, they're travel brushes because, now some of you may be like, Christy, come on now. We know what travel brushes are, but some might not. So there's 2 parts to a traditional travel brush. Handle that's hollow, and then your brush part. You have to carefully, and if you're over 46 like me, put your glasses down and you collapse it. Okay. So you've got your liner. That is one of the most beloved brushes from the Art for Joy's Sake brush collection. You've got the reimagined, not better, but reimagined cat's tongue that comes to not a dimensional point like the original, but a very, very fine, right there on my forehead. Just got my Botox. Fine point. So wonderful, because this one will become part of your daily, even in addition to those who might already have the traditional, see that dimensional point? It's designed to make texture. Okay, so that's in the set. And of course, last but not least is the queen bee of them all, the dagger, the one that started it all, the Art for Joy's Sake brush, the 1/4-inch dagger. And then, so they all collapse, of course, to fit in here, right? But they also fit in here, all three. Damn. They all fit in here. Okay, I'm not lying. Look, there's two. You slide that one over, and then it's a little bit of a tight snap. All right, but they all fit in here. They all fit in here. Not like fit, like, oh, it's gonna just pop right open. Like, my screen just went black. Like, legit fit. Okay, too legit. Okay. Hey. All right, sorry. So that is the travel brush. Y'all, was that enough? This painting is dry. Let's get back to it. We're going to get these launched. I am going to be going live on Palmstreet again. I'm only going to be doing Palmstreet from now on about once a month. It's going to be a bigger sale. Big, exciting. Because right now it's about all I have time for. So, watch out for that. If you're not on our email list, I'm just doing a little housekeeping while we're here. If you're not on our email list, that is the best place to be to find out about lives coming up, both on Palmstreet. I'm going to be doing ASMR painting on a new platform that is less selling centric and more just Kristy hanging out painting free. I'm going to be announcing that soon. It's one of the things I'm going to be doing when I'm out in Palm Springs. I'm going to be going live on this new platform with a world-renowned Hoya seller and cultivator. She cultivates Hoyas. She creates brand new types of Hoyas. It's unsolicited plant talks. If you want to just kind of start digging in to see what she's all about. Y'all just know that I love plants. I love flowers. I love all that kind of stuff. And she invited me to her platform. And so I'm going to be painting in her nursery when I'm in Palm Springs. So I will be releasing the details on what day that's going to happen, but that's going to be in March. And it's probably going to be on March 13th, 14th, somewhere in there. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff coming, but Palmstreet lives are still going to happen. More art supply lives, more kind of liquidation clearance of perfectly imperfect stuff coming. We have the brand new 48 pan empty palette set coming out with the new pattern, and the text on that one is Find Your Weird. Very excited. And then I think if I go live next week, y'all, I am going to be chatting about Portugal. And the thing is, I hope I can squeeze this in, but if I am able to go live, even if you have no interest in going to Portugal with me in September, I'm going to be doing a landscape tutorial. So it's a win-win. Okay. Yeah. Will you have more prints for us to paint like this? Ray. I have my books that are filled with these kind of watercoloring pages. If you're interested, my $3 tier, you get artwork pages like this every month for $3 a month. So there's that. Yeah. Why did you decide to stop making your botanical 48 palette? I wanted to try a new pattern. I wanted it to feel a little more collectible. It's not to say it'll never come back. Most likely it will. But I have to order so many of each pattern at a time. I felt it made more sense to introduce a new pattern and let the excitement build for the original pattern a little bit to create kind of like this collectible vibe. Because I know myself, if there's something that's collectible, limited edition, like I want that in my space. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the painting. What time is it? 3:43. All right. So we're going to get into the one short day in the Emerald City. One short day. Can't help myself. And I never know what the lyrics are. To have our life. I don't know what the words are though. Tracy says, I absolutely love painting Kristy's sheets. I can't draw, but I still have fun. Absolutely. Drawing is not a requirement. All right. So this is beautifully dry. I'm going to wet this down. I am using this wet on wet technique everywhere. Now, am I being careful around Elphaba's hat? No, because if a little green floats into that hat later when I'm doing like blacks and purples and dark blues and all that, so be it. Same with her broomstick. Now we have that awesome green from Jasper Stardust. So that is going to happen. That's called Agave. Remember this one? Agave. I'm just going to drop in some of the agave. It's a little, I'm going to drop in some of the core because as we discovered last week, core loves to bully around other colors. Now I want these entrance gates to be very zingy. So I just went with my dirty green watery brush and added some fluorescent. Now I want to get more variety of greens in here. So this is one of my tricks. I mean, I don't know if it's a trick, but like to make your painting more dynamic, every time you go back, so let's say you're painting greens, every time you go to the palette, just grab a different green for goodness sake, and just get this shiznay livened up. All right. All right, so we're going to go grab this other green from Ruby Mountain that we could not for the life of us figure out the name of. We had a lot of ideas, but none of us could really pin it down. If you want to watch those lives, y'all, that where we decided on all these colors, I'm going to go ahead and have those linked below. So you can go check them out. I'm going to drop some of the core yellow back in here. And if you hear me saying core and you're like, what? It's Q, big Q, little O, big R. Oh, I don't like that. That's just too opaque. That's fighting against what I want to do. So I'm just using all the greens that are in my convenience palette that we decided on. This is that turquoise. I think we called it turquoise. Wow, that needs more water. From M. Graham. Ooh, child, things are gonna get verdant. Ooh, child. Someday, yeah. See, it's one of my toxic traits. I love to sing, but I cannot remember a full verse to save my life. Like, I can't. It's not in my wheelhouse. Don't we love this? Don't we love this? Is the wood palette paints you made? No. Ray, this, I believe, is a limited edition release from Ruby Mountain Paint Co. From early last year, early-ish. All right, so to break up some of this shenanigans here, I'm going to add a little fluorescent, especially kind of where that stem is, and I'm just going to swoop it down. Swoop it down. I love this cat's tongue for control. I know I love making up the words, and I think it's just kind of a coping mechanism because I can't remember the words, but I love it. I love it. Someday you change. Get it together and I'm just picking up a little bit of that. Did you see what I did? Swoop up some of the turquoise and bring it on over into that leaf. Going really light because I'm loving that contrast between the Emerald City and the leafy moment. Now, I know I have other greens here, y'all, but I'm just feeling that they're not quite the luminous quality that I'm after today, namely this lichen from Ocean Paper, and then I've got the moss from Case for Making, so I'm kind of avoiding them. Sorry. Okay. I'm so excited. I want to get Elphaba's facial situation going. I am nervous because I want her green. So I'm going to start very light, blotting off some of that fluorescent from my palette, but I am going to go fluorescent. Okay. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to do her hand in the same ilk. All right. So we're going fluorescent. All right. Going fluorescent. All right. Up here, I did turquoise from Graham, and I quickly played in with a dirty brush some of my Fearless fluorescent green. I am not loving how dark this is here, so I'm putting some clean water over, and I'm going to do something I don't often do. I'm going to blot it away. I just need to get it out of there and dry so I can deal. Actually, I don't even need it dry. I just need it out of there. I'm going to put some fluorescent over it, and then it's better. Okay, I'm happier. Just carry a little bit of that fluorescent up in here. The fluorescent, my fluorescent yellow has really nice pigment load, and it can get you some coverage if you build it, which I love. I'm gonna go in here with a little, in the center here with a little fluorescent, and then a little bit of the turquoise light from Winsor & Newton. Too much on my brush. Don't have a lot of water on your brush if you're going into a small place. Don't have a lot of water or paint on your brush if you're going into a small space and you want to do blending with precision. You cannot have a lot of water on your brush. Okay, back to Elphaba's face. I'm going to rinse my brush really, really well. All right. I am going to I'm going to mix something with my fluorescent yellow. And then I'm going to mix with Jasper Stardust. What is this called? Agave. But I need more fluorescent yellow and more. All right. And then we're going to just do one more. We're going to just kind of dab in over here, just on kind of half of her face. Rinse, blot. You don't want a lot of water on here, and blend. All right, a little something like that. You're going to approach that the same way in her hand, where her hand meets her sleeve. Dab, 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 that medium green, meaning like medium in terms of its value. Rinse, blot. So you just have a just damp brush and blend and get out. Blend, lift back. Okay, nice. Now, I want so badly a little bit of rouginess in her cheeks. She had a little bit of sunshiny rouginess in her cheeks, right? And I want to get that in there. Anybody have any ideas for how best to do that? Anybody? I want ideas. I have a thought, but I want to hear from you all. Because obviously, I shouldn't say that. According to color theory, you mix red and green, you got like a brown, right? All right, I'm gonna let it dry. I think that's the consensus. I don't think we want to put it in while it's wet, damp, or anything. Okay, I'm gonna finish these poppies. Just gonna skippity-doo-dah my way through these poppies. I like my decision here because this is not a high contrast color against the Emerald City. I like it. I like my decision there. I think I want to add a little bit of opera pink into here and spritz. Just to get a little bit of a connection here, proximity. All right, that's enough. I'm not going to touch that anymore. All right. Okay, over here, maybe just a pink. Something fun with opera and the summer glow. Has anybody been able to get any summer glow information from Rachel Beth? And then dab in the Opera Pink. This is from Opera Rose. It's a Winsor & Newton color. It's my favorite version of the Opera Pinky things. And then we're going in with that Summer Glow right next door. And then I'm going to rinse and dry my brush off really well and put, how did I get purple on that brush? Oh my word. Actually, that is a happy accident because I think we want a little bit of purple. So I'm going to do a little bit of contrast detailing where I just bump up some color right on that line between wet paper and dry. Rinse, 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 blot, blot, and blend backwards. Backwards. Puppies. It's like the soundbite is stuck in my brain forever. Puppies. Especially after seeing, you know, the Broadway show, the movie, like everything that you know about the Wicked Witch is just blown to smithereens. So puppies. Go see it. All right. And then bravely some fluorescent and let it blend out. Now I know my fluorescent has a little bit of white in the formulation, so it's not going to blend as quickly and as, invasively as others. Ooh, but I love that just hint of purple. All right, y'all. Oh, it's time for her dress. We're going to this. Now, I might be breaking out. I know for sure a couple of things. My tonic watercolor medium I want to try because I'm told, I've not used it yet, but I'm told that it adds like a sheen and a little bit more of a thickness, almost like a Japanese watercolor, like a little thicker, a little thick in the middle. And then I've got this really pretty shimmery from Ferris Wheel Press, this like shimmery ink. So I don't know. And of course I've got my brand new bottle, my Marianas blue. We're gonna have ourselves good time. They say it's your birthday. I think I just hybridized two songs. All right. Are y'all ready for this? And then probably some of this shiznay. I know I'm bringing in things that weren't part of the plan, but it's okay. Right? One of the major problems I have with Ferris Wheel Press is the instability. Look at how many times I've knocked this over by doing nothing. And this bottle at one point spilled. It's very unstable, whereas this one, not as unstable. It's like, yeah, like I had to really, whereas this one, like, hi. Okay, anyway, unsolicited review. Okay, a little bit of tonic. Now apparently this is just, it says it's made with gum arabic. My guess is there's something else to the story there. I'm going to open these just so we're ready to rumble. Dear Lord, please don't spill. All right, are we ready for the gown? I want to do the dagger. Where is she? Okay, so we are going to wet carefully her gown, okay? We're going to wet her gown carefully, meaning I'm trying not to go into her hair here. And I want to work in a section at a time. The section right now is just this triangle of her gown. Now we can go down in here next to the broom into the flower a little bit, but I don't want to get back here. I don't want to get over here. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Okay, so it's pretty wet. I want it pretty wet. All right, you with me? You with me? Okay, what do we want to do? I'm going to go in with this magenta and I'm just going to dab, y'all. I'm just dabbing. I'm continuing to dab from the top. and I'm starting to carry it down, but I really want it to carry its own as much and for as long as possible. Like I want it to reach down through this triangle as much as possible. All right. Now I'm going to get a little extra water up here. And then I'm going to go in with this ink and I'm going to lift my paper a little and dab it on. And I'm letting the drops drop where they might. And a little bit of shaking, moving and grooving. See, I'm kind of like, I want this like streaky situation, right? I'm going to get some of the Marianas and I'm going to go back here. I'm going to spray. Oh yeah, that's flipping cool. You see what happened there? Leave it be. All right. Now with this down here, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, but I do know I want to smooth this. That's going to be important. This dress is giving a little bit of Victorian frump more than I had hoped. So I don't know how I feel about that. I love this edge though. Gosh, I love that. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. I do want to put a little opera rose with a little nod to Glinda. We're at this phase, Galinda. And I think I want to spray a little. Okay. How are we feeling about it? Gosh, I love this though. I'm very happy with how this is coming along. All right. So we're going to continue some of this jazz into the swirls. If you were wondering, these weird things, this is very like Nightmare Before Christmas, but we're going to continue that into some of these swirls. Now that we've got, a dirty brush. No, now that we've got kind of a working knowledge of the vibe for this. And this may be the only area where I do apply some black ink. I very well may, and it may be with a pen. We shall see. Oh my gosh, that's still damp. That's frightening. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go from the top because I know it's dry up here in the surrounding areas. And I'm going to really lay on this dark blue ink. Use whatever kind of ink you have. You don't have an ink? Use whatever most intense blue you have. Like I'm actually going to go in and grab some of Artistic Isles Prussian. Get some of that going. And if you can't understand why I love Artistic Isles Prussian, that's ink, that's watercolor, right next door to each other. They're redonkulous. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to kind of start shoving the paint down. I'm going to let tap, 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 let gravity do some fun things. You see what it did there? Created its own little channel, and I've got some happy accident action happening. Now, this is really dark. I'm going to see what happens. I want to see what some lifting. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm lifting. The brush isn't clean, but it's all blue at this point. I like this white margin. I might leave it. I am leaving it for now. But I like the lifting. Now it's ink, so it is staining, but I like the little bit of lift I'm getting. I want to drop in a little bit of opera into here. And I am reshaping because I've gone outside the lines for sure. One short day in the Emerald City. Oh, Alphaba. Little bit of water down here just to encourage some more movement. Little bit of lifting here. And this is where, y'all, this is just pure OG, gorgy, wet on wet. Just have a good time. Okay? Just have a good time. Just be aware have a good time with these parameters. Be aware of what may still be wet or damp around where you're painting. And as a matter of fact, nothing should be. So you can have the most control. Nothing should be wet or damp around these purpley blue areas because you're setting yourself up for a situation. Okay. You're setting yourself up for a situation. Is anybody still painting with me? If you are, just say, I am. I want to hear from you. I'm grabbing the purple. This was the purple that we chose was Quinn Purple from Daniel Smith. It is very pigment loaded. So I'm lifting it back from whence it came, because I want those highs and lows, those lights and darks that are so characteristically watercolor. I still want them to be here, right? That's fun. All right, I like that. All right, I'm going to go down here and do a little florally. I think I'm just going to go like really wet on dry, opera rose. See, I saw Glinda as just, she had that fire in her, but because she was so concerned about impressing the establishment, if you will, it was dimmed. That fire in her belly was dimmed. And Elphaba was like who Glinda could have been if Glinda had a spine. And so this flower is paying homage to, you know, really, I think, Elphaba carrying Glinda's torch. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry. None of that. That was just all nonsense. Low contrast by design. And I'm going to do a green kind of dabby center. All right. Let's just do some quick brown in the broomstick. We're just going to put a little bit of brown. See, we don't want to get it carried away. And then wet our brush and drag it down. This should not be the center of attention by any means, but obviously it's not an unimportant part of the story. So we want it to be there. I'm just going to drag down a little bit of that. I might add gold to that later. I don't know. Still need to dry there. All right. I still love this kind of cauliflowered edge. I don't feel the need to do anything with it yet. So therefore I'm not. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. Oh, it's so good. And it applies to painting. It's time to trust your instincts. Close my eyes and leave. Yeah, we're going to defy gravity with watercolor. It's time to try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. Defying gravity. Ooh, that was a little sharp. Anyway, I break into random song. All right, going back to the Prussian for Artistic Isle. Y'all go get her paint. She's got a palette right now that's similar to this one. It doesn't have any shimmers. Damp on damp here. damp page, letting the paint run out. I actually love that. Can't I make you understand? You're having delusions of grandeur. I'm through accepting limits, 'cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Just rewriting the song here, y'all. Okay, that's fun. But I want to carry that darkness up into here, okay? How that connects there. And then I'm going to rinse my brush and go right next door. So kind of like contrast detailing right next door with a damp brush to where I just added the color and just a light blend. Need a little bit more down here, I feel. Don't ever worry about little moments of white that don't get painted. Please don't worry about those. They are unnecessary to worry about. Okay. I need to take a mental brain break from all the purple, blues, and whatnot. And now I'm just doing like, do whatever green makes you feel happy. So just a touch of, just kind of fill in this. This is that Ruby Mountain green mixed with my fluorescent. And then I think I want to drop in a little, just a scoochy doot of the turquoise, like such a little scoochy doot, because look how much it spreads. And then I'm just taking color and dragging it down. These stems don't need to be crazy interesting all over the place. And that is just, that turquoise is invasive. I mean, I love it, but it is invasive. So a little bit of fluorescent on my brush, go down again. All right, love that. I'm going to go over here with what's left on my brush and do the same thing. I am very quickly running out of paint, so I got to go grab some more. Oh, wow, there's like nothing on my brush now. So I'm going to go back. Look at how bright that is. Daggone it. Remember, we are not baking here. When you're mixing two colors together, you don't need to blend thoroughly, okay? We want to maintain that joy, whimsy, and wonder of watercolor. And part of that is like all the undulation of color. Just using what's on my brush here, y'all. Just using what's on my brush. I love it. Okay. Just nice to see all those stems kind of worked in. Now I'm going to grab my black Pentel sign pen. Now, I'm going to go in here. I want to do something with her hair. Ooh, this marker does not like this paper. This is a softer watercolor. Damn. All right. I'm just going to do a little, since it's fighting me, because it's so soft and cottony and not terribly toothy. It's fighting me to get like a nice strong line. So I'm just going to put an edge in here of this black sign pen. But honestly, you don't need a sign pen. There's nothing beneficial about this pen on this paper, as I'm just finding out. And then I'm taking the cat's tongue damp, and I'm going to blend. And really, you don't need much dampness. You don't need much of anything. Not terribly excited about that. I might blend upwards almost as a little bit of a lifting action, but I know not a lot is going to get lifted, but that's okay. Her hair, like, it's enough to make sense that it's there. All right. I want to go in with my liner brush and get those lips. If you look at the movie posters and whatnot, her lips are a distinctive, more intense green and slightly darker in value. So I'm going into that gorgeous foresty green from Ruby Mountain. And again, we think it's Ruby Mountain. Just grabbed a little bit of the agave, and I'm going to go in here. Now, this is a small space. So I'm probably just going to do like a tentative fill. That is lovely. That's just enough. I might go in where her shirt or her sleeve meets her arm and just add a little bit of it. Just for a little, slightly more pop, and then a little, since I've got it on my brush, a little down here. All right. I think I'm going to cheat a little. All right. I've got these pickled raspberry. No. Maybe. Yeah. No. All right. I was going to use the, I don't even need to say what it was. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use the Stabilo, and it's just this pink color. It's one of the duos, but I'm going to use this pink, and I'm going to just do a very specific, oh, I hope this works. Yeah, little bit, little bit, little bit. I don't know. I'm gonna wet it a little bit with a very clean brush, very light pressure, almost a dab. Okay, okay, yeah, like this. Okay, and then while it's still wet, I need to get this. I went outside the lines. Really annoyed. Okay, while it's still damp, I'm gonna get, and I'm using my liner brush for precision. Okay. And I'm just going to dab some Opera Rose in that bubble. How do we feel about it? How do we feel? Too much. It's too much, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I'm not thoroughly convinced, but I'm also like, it's such a small spot. Like, I don't know why I'm obsessing. Okay. So this is where we're at, y'all. This is where we're at. You all want me to keep going, finish the background? Because I do want to do something in the background. I'm almost thinking gold, like a gold background. Gold, gold, gold. How do we feel about it? Is that nuts? Do we like nuts? I like nuts. Keep going. Okay. I know. It's been a long one. But honestly, I haven't had any long ones lately. Where's my gold? There's my golds. It's going to be a gouache, so going outside of the 24 convenience color. Oh, let's try this over top. This is our tonic watercolor medium. I want to see what this does. I'm using it neat. I'm not actually mixing it with a color, so maybe I should get a little Opera Rose on there. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, heck. What? It's almost like a legit glaze. Now, I'm obviously using it pretty heavy-handed. And the ratio, is super high. Medium to paint. But shut up. That's cool. All right, let's mix it right in this little mixing tray. Off screen, you can't see it. It's creating like there's definitely more in here than gum arabic. Definitely. Okay. So a little bit more glaze. Ooh, that is fun. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to do like brushy, strokey things, but I'm sorry. That is amazing. Okay, hold on. That just looks like watercolor. It's really powerful over top. And then I think when it dries, it's going to have this really cool sheen. I'll do a little over here. So can I find me? Look to the western sky. As someone told me they think everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if I'm flying so low, at least I'm flying free. To those who ground me, old art teachers, take a message back from me. Tell them how I'm defying gravity with watercolor joy. I'm flying high, defying gravity with watercolor joy. Soon I'll match them in renown. Actually, who cares about renowned? Because nobody in all of watercolor land, no wizard that there is or was in watercolor land, is ever gonna bring my joy down. I am so tacky. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't help it. Okay, I'm going to stop playing with the tonic medium, but here it is if you're interested. It's Tonic Watercolor. Federal Color is the brand underneath. It's St. Louis Art Supply. Let's go check it out. But you can see there's a sheen. Okay. Let me get the gold going. Now, I'm squeezing. I'm just going to squeeze it right into here with what I was just doing with the tonic, because, like, whatever. This is gouache. This is a Holbein gouache. And I think it's called Antique Gold. Yep. Antique Gold. And we're just going to get into it. All right. Probably going to leave a margin in most places. I'm using the dagger. A little heavy-handed up there. This is a little trickier. So if you're feeling unsure about adding such a bold background, don't. Or try filling some negative spaces on like old paintings that like you don't really care about anymore, but that you've kept, because we don't throw away paintings around here, right? Give it a whirl. You can do multiple coats, get the kind of coverage that you want in multiple coats. Or you can just do some cool stuff with dry brush, if you please. Now, I want to look at this. Am I loving this? I want to see. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm loving the color choice. I don't know. How do we feel about the gold? I'm not panicked. Like, there's so much I can do to change it, reverse it, remove it, all the things. There's just so much I can do, but I'm just not sure. Now, in order to really start to make a decision, I'm going to add some up here. And I like that a lot. Just little more, slightly more dimensional, like dabs of it. Up here. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Yeah, too solid, right? Yeah. All right. So. Bleed proof white. This may not get, I may have to finish this off camera and post it somewhere. Poppies. Poppies. This is a really good place to talk about like panic, because early in your painting journey, you might be inclined to be like, oh my gosh, I freaking ruined it. Here we go. Here we go. Right? But no, we didn't ruin anything. Just, this is, oh, I just don't know. I was originally thinking a dark background. I was originally thinking like something up here, more like dark sky. But then there's so much loveliness happening. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. This needs to dry. I am thinking I am going to do a very midnight sky. I'm going to use acrylic to drop in pinpoint like stars. But as it fades, I'm going to fade that intense night sky. As it fades over to here, it'll become more gold. So it'll go from a blue to a bluey gold to a gold. That's what I'm going to do. But friends, I'm going to do it off camera, I believe, because this needs to dry. Actually, let me do one section of it because I'm going to need to dry this, lift it so that I can do the night sky over it. And it's all good. But we're going to do a little section up here so you can get a peek because I do want you to come back. It'll be on Instagram. I'll post it to the community section here. And we're going to do a little bit in the upper corner. I'm going to grab some water. Now you could certainly also just wet the sky and then drop in. Show you what that would look like. But now I've got this blue on my brush and it ain't gonna come out. Use the tip of your brush when you're needing to get into nooks and crannies, pulling some of that color down. And now here, I'm gonna end this area here in a spot because I don't want to fill in all in here quite yet. At least I don't think I do. All right. It's a dirty blue brush that I'm essentially using to wet the background. It'll get less dirty the more I get water on here. All right, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And then the finished piece I will reveal later on. I'm just adding little dots. Swishes. That is not traveling like I thought it would. We're going to blend it out. Oh yeah, there we go. That's nice. Oh yeah, I like that dark background a lot. And then we're going to grab our acrylic. All right, now I'm grabbing the golden fluid titanium white, and I'm just going to add dots into the wet areas and let them kind of do whatever they do. A little starry sky-esque. Yeah, I like this. So yeah, this is definitely what I'm going to do. I'm going to do night starry sky. As it comes this way where it would meet up with the blue and the purples of her dress, it's going to transition to gold. So this will be gold. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. So definitely tune in for that. All right, I'm just going to give you a little look at this desk because that's always fun. But yeah, I love it. I love the darkness up here, and maybe the gold as it transitions over into this area will become like a peachy gold. Yeah. Yeah. Any more suggestions? Let me know, but I'm loving this. Please, 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 y'all share, share, share. Please share your paint along piece. If you're watching this on replay, share it still. Just tag me on Instagram at KRISTYTHEPAINTER. Or you could go into our private Facebook group. The information's below with a link to it. Free from Fear, Watercolor and Beyond. Get in there, share. It's awesome. So please paint along. Even if you just kind of hung out live and didn't paint, I encourage you to give it a go. This very much just like wet the page, wet sections, and drop in color is very cathartic and very relaxing. And it will be even more so, let those sections dry as you go so they're not just crazy running into one another. But this has been super fun. I am so glad you've been with me. I'm definitely going to try to um, go live next week, do that landscape tutorial before I'm off for my trip, and chat a little bit about Portugal. So the landscape will be very much inspired by Portugal coastline, which has got a very distinct red rock vibe. So that's fun. And that could be really fun for anyone. So it'll definitely be a lesson. It won't just be a sales pitch. I will be talking about Portugal, but it won't be like, you know, there will be a reason for you to be here. If you don't want to go to Portugal, you will learn how to paint landscapes. So, all right. Thank you so much, friends. Take care. Love you all. Wishing you tons of happy painting this coming week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.